Hello, welcome to VAD Inspires. And today I want to talk to you about metaprograms. This is actually a fancy word for how people process information and how they process what you have communicated to them. And if you have had a hard time communicating with someone or try to create a connection or rapport, this might be the cure. So for you to be an effective communicator and an effective persuader, you have to understand people's metaprogram. There are actually 7 major metaprograms, but for this video, we're going to talk about 3 of them, and then there will be a separate video for the rest of them. So let's get started. Number 1 involves people who move towards something and people who tend to move away from something. Let me break it down. Human behaviors actually revolves around the intent or the urge to move towards pleasure or avoid pain. So let's take, for example, if you are reading authors like Hemingway, Shakespeare, Mark Twain, all these great writers, you might be reading these writers because you enjoy the insights and the inspiration you get from them. But here's the thing. Another person might be reading these same books, these same authors, because he doesn't want to be perceived as an uneducated fool. You might be moving towards pleasure. He's trying to avoid pain. Same information, different intent, different urge. So that's the 2 ways people process information in the first step of metaprograms. People who tend to move towards pleasure, people who try to avoid pain. If you're in sales, let's say you sell cars, you can present it in 2 ways. One, you can say, oh, this car is fast, or flashy, sexy. Or you can say, you know what, this guy is low cost in maintenance, gas efficient, and saving crashes. If you understand what we said so far, you will see that the first explanation is actually moving towards pleasure, while the second one is avoiding pain. So whichever one you use depends on the way the person you are trying to communicate processes information. Because if you use the wrong metaprogram on a person, you might as well have stayed home. You're just barking at the wrong tree. So understanding if someone is moving towards pleasure or avoiding pain is one of the keys to successful communication. So how do you know? Well, ask them this simple question. What do you want out of a relationship or a car or a product or anything? What do you want out of it? Their answers will come in 2 categories. They will tell you something, either what they want or what they don't want. Oh, you know what? I want a loving person. Or you know what? I want someone who doesn't cheat. You see? Both of them, same question, different intent. Loving person, moving towards pleasure. Someone who doesn't cheat, trying to avoid pain. It makes a difference. If you speak someone's language, then you got him. So, some people in life, they like moving towards risks. They like taking chances. They feel comfortable moving towards something. While some people are more cautious, protective, and wary. They see life and they see the world as more of a perilous place. So whichever a person is, you can understand and you can know by asking him that question. What do you want out of this or out of that? And then you can pitch in what you want him to do, or you can pitch in something that can create a connection. So that's number one. Number two is dealing with people who actually use an external reference versus people who use internal reference. So actually dealing with external and internal reference. So for you to simply know if someone is external or internal, ask him, when do you know that you've done a good job? How do you know you've done a good job? Is he going to tell you, oh, you know what? My peers have to say, you know, that looks good. Or my friends or my boss has to comment on it. That person is external. If it's internal, he's going to say, you know what? I feel that I've done a good job. You know, this person actually relies on his own instincts to know he's done a good job. So that's how you know. Let's say, for example, if you're trying to convince someone to attend a seminar, you must say, you know what, John? This seminar is awesome. It's great. People's lives have changed like crazy in minutes. I've attended, and so have my friends. They all had a great time. You can ask them. And I think you will have a great time too. If this person is external, chances are you got him right as rain. But if he is internal, you're backing at the wrong tree. You're wasting your time. Now, if he's internal, if you're trying to get to him, you simply say, John, you remember that seminar you attended last year, or that training program you attended last year? You remember how you said it was the best experience of your life? You remember how you said you were so into it? You remember how you enjoyed it? You remember how you talked to me about it? Well, I've got something exactly like that. If you attend this seminar, you might have the same experience. Check it out. Now, do you think this will work? You bet. You are speaking his language. You are telling him that he's going to feel the way he feels if he attends this seminar, the way he has felt when he attended last year. So that's number two, dealing with people who has external reference versus people who have internal reference. Now, as we grow up, we tend to develop patterns and values over time. We don't actually respond to the same stimulus in the same way all the time, but you have a dominant one. So I think it's a good idea to develop more of an internal reference than external reference for you. So you have to rely on your instincts. Yes, you have to seek advice time to time. Yes, you have to seek counsel time to time. But I think it's a good idea to do something based on your own conclusion, the product of your own conclusion. Because people who lead their lives and others are more of internal reference. But hey, the key here is to find out which one the person you're trying to communicate uses and use that one for him. So, the second one. Now, the third one is people who sort by self and people who sort by others. So, sorting by others and sorting by self. This is actually what's in it for me versus how can I create value for others. Of course, you cannot be one extreme. If you are strictly sorting by others, then you are a martyr. If you are strictly sorting by self, you are a self-absorbed egoist. So, in some cases, it's good to be self-sorting. In some other cases, it's good to be sorting by others. But again, I think it's good to be sorting by others because when you do something for someone or when you serve someone, you indirectly benefit. Because service to many leads to greatness. But actually, the point here is communication. So you have to find out if this person is actually sorting by others or sorting by self. Is he more interested in what's in it for them or him or the person? Or So you know what? How can other people benefit from this? So those are the key you have to look for when to find out if someone is certain by self or certain by others. And that's how you become that's how you become an effective communicator. If you know what, this person is more of himself or herself, I'm gonna speak to him that way and see if I can connect, if I can create that rapport. So these are the first three. This is it for this video. If you enjoyed this first part of the Metaprograms, I'm gonna make the rest of the video next time. And be sure to subscribe for more. Like and comment. Tell me what you think. And thank you. Stay inspired. God bless. Be great. I'll see you next time, folks.